What's up, DIYers? As you can tell, this tank is absolutely filled to the brim with guppies and guppy fry. It's become a little bit of a maintenance issue, and this 20-gallon just can't handle it anymore. So today we're going to switch things up and get these guppy fry out of here. As cool as it is to see all these little fish swimming around in this tank, it wasn't meant to be a grow out tank. And like I said, the maintenance is getting tough. There's also so many fish in here that they're all competing for food at once. The overcrowding plus the increased bio load is making the fry growth much slower than it should be. But I have this 28-gallon tub in my fish room that I've been using to grow out mosquito fish. I also use it as a plant grow out for the floating plants as well as some aquarium plants. The mosquito fish originally came from my koi pond. They definitely can't survive in there when they're young though, so I transferred them out when they were super young into this tub. They're just about big enough to where they can survive in the koi pond at this point, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity to move these guys back into the koi pond and then spruce this thing up for the guppy fry. Mosquito fish are a little bit more aggressive than guppies. That's why I can't mix the two together. Although it would be easier to just leave these guys in here and add the guppies, I'm going to do it the right way and take these guys out, put them in the pond. So catching them all in this jungle is definitely going to be a challenge. I probably got to remove all the floating plants as well as the hornwort. Also going to fill up this container so I can put the fish that I catch in here. Floating plants cover all this hornwort under here, but I have massive bundles of hornwort just chilling inside of here. Perfect for fish fry because they can just chill inside of it and it makes them feel safe. This tub also has a lot of surface area, so it's great to grow this stuff out in. Check out this absolutely massive bundle I have hidden in the back here. This thing is at least like 3 feet long. This stuff really explodes when you give it good light and good water quality. And this is why I don't see the mosquito fish 90% of the time, because they're either hiding inside of this or under all the floating plants. I've learned with mosquito fish, if you just go at them quick, they're usually caught off guard and you can catch a pretty good amount of them. I got at least half of them right there. In a net fish, floating plants are like the most annoying thing in the world. So I decided to take as many of them out as I could so they're not in my way while I'm trying to catch these fish. Pretty hard to see in this thing, plus these fish are super small and they blend in really well. So it was definitely a process to catch all these guys. Finally got all of them. They're all looking super healthy. It's crazy. The ones in my pond are more of a black color and the ones that I grow inside tend to be a little bit white/clear. Super cool. Based on whatever lighting they're living in, they kind of adapt to it. But let's get these guys acclimated to the pond water and let's throw them in. Alright, they've been acclimating for a while. Let's get these guys in here. They're gonna have way more space out here, so this is super exciting. You free little homies, welcome to your new home. These little guys are gonna grow up in no time and start creating the next generation. Now that we got the mosquito fish out of here, we're gonna clean this tub up a little bit. Bunch of dead plant matter as well as some other debris at the bottom we want to get out before we get the fry in here. I'm also gonna fill this thing up because the more water volume the better. It sucks that it's at ground level and I can't gravel vac, but usually using the net helps a lot. I also don't usually do water changes on this thing because there's so many plants and the water parameters are usually always stable. This will definitely be a good new home for all the guppy fry. Way more swimming area, plus they won't have to compete for food with the adults. It's also going to save the 20 gallon. So same story over here. The floating plants are super thick. I have to move them all out of the way to try to catch these guppies. Look at that, I already caught a couple when I was just filling this thing up with water. That's how many freaking guppy fry are in here. I'm going to just take some of these floating plants out of the way. If I don't, there's no way I'm going to be able to catch these fish. This stuff has been absolutely thriving in this tank. I've never had floating plants so healthy before. But now we can finally try to catch these little dudes. There's literally so many of them, and then the adults are in the way too. And I knew it was going to be a challenge to try not to mess up the plants. I'm going to have to just keep scooping these guys forever. There's literally so many of them. If I had to guess, there's at least 50 fry. Okay, so I got the majority of them. Holy crap, that is so many freaking fish. I honestly couldn't get every single small one, but this is insane how many there are. Super glad I'm taking these guys out of the 20 gallon. It already looks way less overstocked. There's a few stragglers, of course. Now I'm going to drip acclimate these guys. Since I just filled up this tub, the water temperature is a little bit lower than the 20 gallon. This is probably the safest way to move them into new water. I kept one of the fry in here. She already started getting color and she's just my favorite. Now we can finally put these guys into their new home. Thing I gotta do is get these plants in the water and then put the floating plants on top. This is not only gonna look super cool and give the guppies a place to hide, but it's also gonna help the water quality. And I have so much of it and it just keeps growing. I'll check back in with you guys when this thing's complete. guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to drop a like and don't forget to subscribe for more content like this and to stay updated on the guppies.